Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Tay Tay, and I am back with a new video for you guys. I got on my mind. I can't waste no time. Life is too short. I gotta grind. Okay, so as you guys can see by the title, today is a testimony video of something that God has done in my life. And I just figured I would share this with you guys to encourage you, but also just to share my testimony and give him glory, honestly. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into this video. So gosh, where do I begin? Okay, so basically my family and I had moved to a place that was probably 5 hours from where we used to live. I'm not giving you guys specifics because I don't want y'all to come and like find me or something. But so yeah, we moved 5 hours away from where we have lived for years. So I've never been to this place really before. I've probably visited like once or twice, but I'm pretty new to this area. We are pretty new to this area, and there's, you know, a few differences, but yeah, so it's a completely new environment, you know, getting used to it. So this testimony took place probably about I can't do math, so it was sometime in it was sometime in 2019. Yeah, so basically I had gotten a job. I was in high school. No, I was in my first year in university, and I just finished high school, and I had a job that I was working part-time at a grocery store near my house. And you know, grocery stores tend to close late and open early, and so our grocery store closed at 11, but the department that I worked in within my grocery store closed at 10 p.m. And when you close, you only usually need like 1 or 2 people, but like when you close the department, you really usually end up with just like 1 person for the last hour. And so I was closing that day, and everyone in my department had gone home, and it was just me, and there were still people in the store and like employees and stuff in the store, but in my department I was the only person that was there. And so yeah, so basically what happened was, at around this time I had started wearing colored contacts. They were like hazel looking. But anyway, they were like hazel chestnutty type of contacts. And so I started wearing those. I just wanted to wear contacts. Like, you know, sometimes you just want to wear colored contacts. It enhances your look. It makes you look different. But yeah, it's just something fun to do. So that's what I was doing at this time. And I didn't really wear makeup for work because I just didn't, like, I didn't see the point in really wearing makeup. I wore it once in a while, but it wasn't something that I always did. Like, if I did wear makeup, it would be very minimum, like mascara, eyebrows, that's it. So anyway, yeah, so this specific shift, I was wearing my contacts and I probably had a mascara and that's it. And so our uniform is like jeans that's like blue or black, and then they have like a gray shirt, that's the uniform shirt, and then you wear like your name tag. And so I stopped wearing my name tag after a while because I realized that people would look at my chest rather than my face when I was serving them, and it was just, it made me uncomfortable, so I just stopped wearing it because I'm like, but that's a whole other story. So, but yeah. So anyway, this specific time, I was working and I noticed that there was a guy who came in the store, a black guy. Not that that is any relevance, but it was, yeah, it was a black guy. And he was probably, I want to say he was in his early 30s or late 30s, even early 40s. I really don't know because black people, you know, black don't crack. So I had no idea how old he was, but he was definitely in his 30s or 40s. Max. Like, he wasn't over 45, I don't think. But anyways, so he, I noticed him walk in and he walked past my department and he looked at me and I was like, okay. I was like, whatever. Customers do that. They look at you. And I was just like, okay, whatever. And then he walked past my department probably like 3 or 4 times. And I was just like, what is this guy doing? I'm like, he's shopping, obviously, but I'm like, why is he walking past our department and looking at me? Like, so anyway, I don't know what's going on, but I didn't pay much mind. Customers are customers, and guys especially can be really weird around people who work sometimes, like women who work in places like grocery stores and places like that. Like, Anyway, so I had finished my shift. I had left my department, and like I said, I worked in a grocery store. So sometimes after my shift, I would shop a little bit or look around and see if there's something that I wanted before I went home. And usually my dad would pick me up from work when I ended my shift late like that. He would pick me up. And he would just wait outside, like in front of the store in his car. And this was a usual occurrence, so I was used to him waiting. But anyway, so the guy that I saw, guys, I'm sorry, this whole testimony / story is such a mess, but I'm trying my best to, like, you know. So anyway, my dad came in the store this particular evening. I didn't even know. I didn't see him. I didn't know he was in the store. Anyway, so that aside, so remember that my dad was in the store. He never ever comes in the store. Like, he just waits in the car. So anyway, this particular day or night, I was just looking in you know, the meat section, because, you know what I'm saying, I'm a steak eater, so I really like steak. So I was just looking there to see if there's any discounts or anything that I could find. So yeah, so I was there, and then I saw the same guy who'd walked past the department a couple times, and I was just like, okay, whatever. So I walked past him and I was just looking, just minding my own business, and then he came up to me and he was just like trying to talk to me, and I'm like, anyway, yeah, so he was trying to talk to me, and I'm just like, I'm trying to get my stuff and get out. Like, I'm trying to go home. Like, I don't want to talk to anyone. I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to talk to anyone. But, you know, customers, and he obviously knew that I worked there, so I was just like, yes, like, hello. And he was just like, he's like, I like your eyes or whatever. And I'm like, thanks. Because I had compliments. And I would see people looking at me trying to figure out if that was my real eye color or not. But anyway, so he was just like, I like your eyes. I'm like, thanks. He's like, do you have something in your eyes? And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, contacts. And he's like, oh, okay. He's like, when can I see those eyes again? And I'm like, well, at first I was like, what is this guy talking about? Like, I'm like, they're contacts. Like, but then he was like, yeah. He's like, so when can I see those eyes again? Like, literally trying to, like, hook me up. And I was just like, never. Which is kind of, like, rude. But I'm like, never. Like, you know. And he's like, why? And I'm like, because. Like, I'm like, do I have to have a reason? Guys, if I knew to say what I have, like, actually thought of by now, I would have said it. But before I was just like, why didn't I say like, well, they're contacts, go and buy some. If you want to see those eyes again, and go buy some contacts, or go search up brown eyes on the internet. Like, I should have said that, but I didn't say that. But I was just like, yeah, I was just like, never, 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 never. And he was just like, why? He's like, is there a lineup? Are there guys like trying to like, do you have like a line of guys or whatever? Like, trying to get your attention and stuff. And I was just like, maybe. And obviously that was not the case, but I was just like, maybe. Just trying to get him off my back, because I don't want to say, you know. And he's like, so what's up? Like, you know, like, why, like, he's like, can I have your number? Like, he was literally just trying to pick me up. And this has never happened to me before. Like, I've never had someone be so blunt about trying to pick someone up and trying to be interested in someone. Like, I was just really uncomfortable, and I'm just like, you have to leave me alone. I'm not interested. And yeah, because that's never really happened to me before. I didn't really know kind of what to say. I was kind of awkward, but I was just like, yeah, I'm like, you kind of have to leave me alone. Like, I'm just like, you know. And he honestly wouldn't take no for an answer. And so I started walking quickly and picking up the pace. I obviously didn't buy anything that day because I wasn't scared, but I was just like, I don't want to like do anything, you know. I'm like, my dad's here, like, let me just go home. I can always buy something another day. So I was like, oh, it's like, I wish my dad is here. I wish my dad was here. Like, I wish he was in the store right now. And I kid you not, when I turned the corner to go into the next aisle, I bumped into my dad. Like, spot on bumped into him. And I was like, whoa, like, you okay? Type of thing. And I'm like, there's this guy who's trying to pick me up. My dad's like, huh? And I'm like, there's this guy and he's like trying to like pick me up. And my dad's okay. My dad's like, okay. He's like, where? Like, what does he look like? And I showed him. The guy obviously didn't like see me show my dad him, but yeah. I was just like, yeah, I'm like, that's him. My dad's like, okay. He's like, go out and wait for me in the car, and I'll be out in a minute. So I was like, okay. So what happened now was I came out of the store. Mind you guys, it's after 10 p.m. at night and it's dark. There's not many cars in the parking lot, and you know, so anyway, I went to my dad's car, this little black car. I went to it, tried to open the door. It was locked. And I was like, are you kidding me right now? I noticed that there was a few cars, like I said, in the parking lot. One of them was this big black pickup truck, and it was like 2 parking spots away from ours, like in front of us. And I was just like, please tell me that that is not his truck. Like, I was just like, please don't let that be his truck. So anyway, you could see into the store. So I saw my dad at the cashier, and then I saw this guy who's trying to pick me up at the self-checkout, which is a lot quicker. So I saw him coming out of the store first, and my dad was trying to, I guess, like hurry up, but he obviously, you know. But I saw the guy come out of the store first, and I was like, oh my gosh. So I like literally ducked. I'm like, I'm literally gonna hide. But he saw me, and yeah. So anyway, he went to his big black pickup truck. He put his groceries in the passenger seat, and then he left his door open, and he came up to me, and I was just like, what is this guy doing? Like, I low-key was just like, okay, I'm like, this guy is not gonna quit. And I didn't really know what he was gonna do. Like, for all I know, he could have came and grabbed me and shoved me into his truck. Like, I was like, what is going on? So I was backing away from him, and he was getting something from his pocket, and I was just like, what is going on? Okay, so then what happened was he took out his business card, and he's like, if you change your mind, he's like, my number's on here, whatever. And he gave it to me, and I guess he works in like construction or something like that. And I was just like, well, I will not change my mind, but thanks. I didn't say that to him, but I didn't say anything. I took it. When he walked away, I ripped it up and I threw it out. And then I saw my dad coming out of the store, and my dad was walking like, I've never seen anyone take the big his strides like that before. Like I have like my dad wasn't running, but he was walking, and it was just like his strides were like super big, and I was just like, oh my gosh. Okay, so my dad went up to him. My dad's like, yo, like he's like, yo, brethren. He's like, that's my daughter you're talking to. he's like he's like, I'm her ride home or whatever. She doesn't need a ride. Because actually, I forgot to tell you guys this, but he was actually saying like, do you need a ride home? That's another thing that he was saying. And I was like, no, I'm like, my dad's gonna pick me up. Like, I'm good. I already have a ride. And he was like insisting, like he was just like, I can take you home. He's like, do you wanna, like, he's like, I can give you a ride home. He's like, I'll just buy this quickly or whatever and I'll take you home. And I was just like, no, like, I'm good. And he wouldn't leave me alone. He kept saying that. And I was just like, I have a ride. Like, I'm good. So yeah. And so the guy was like, my dad opened the car. So I went in and I saw them talking and I was like, thank you, Jesus. Thank you, God. Like, I'm like, so then afterwards, what happened was, by the way, guys, this black guy, he was like not that much taller than me, right? Like he wasn't super tall. He was just like, I don't know, like maybe 5'7", 5'8". Like he wasn't that tall. My dad is like 6'3", so yeah. But anyways, so my dad was like this over him, and the guy was just like, oh, he's like, I'm sorry. He's like, my bad, whatever. So then he went in his truck, and as he was leaving, he pulled up beside our car or whatever, or like in front of it, and he was like, he apologized again. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, I guess my dad really scared him. No surprise there. But yeah, so basically that's what happened. And when I tell you that God intervened, he intervened. Like, you have to, like, things like this happen to people and they're like, oh, there was a coincidence, or like my dad saved me. Guys, this was not a coincidence. Okay, when I tell you that my dad like literally never ever came into the store, like he would always wait outside. This was the one time that he came inside, and I was just like, I literally was like, I wish my dad was here. I didn't even pray. I should have prayed, but I was like, I wish my dad was here. I turned the corner, my dad was there, and I bumped into him. Like, that is not a coincidence. And that's God's grace. So yeah. And also, I didn't really think about it at the moment and at the time, but I realized, because I had other incidents that have happened to me since I've lived where I'm living now. Not like that, but still almost like trafficking and stuff like that has happened to me. And I realized that God is so good. Like, we underestimate, you know, sex trafficking, we underestimate kidnapping, and we underestimate, you know, like rape and stuff like that. And we don't think that it would happen to us. And I'm not saying at all that I got raped or saying that I got sex trafficked or whatever. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying that we think things like this doesn't happen in Canada. It doesn't happen in England. It doesn't happen in first world countries. But it does happen more than we realize. It happens a lot. And girls, especially young girls, can be very vulnerable to these types of things. Of course, men and little boys can as well. But anything can honestly happen. And I know of people who have been sexually abused. I know of people who have been, you know, just abused in general and used. And I honestly thank God to this day that nothing happened. God is so good. He's so gracious and merciful, and he really did intervene that day, because anything could have happened. For all I know, that guy could have taken me to the woods and killed me, right? He could have done anything. He could have, you know, assaulted me, and he didn't get the chance to. And I'm not saying that he was a pedophile or that he was a bad person. I'm not saying that, because I don't know him and I don't know what his intentions really were. But sometimes things like this happen and girls think, you know, like, what's the big deal? Like, what could happen? Like, what, you know, what could go wrong? And everything can go wrong. So, and you know, obviously, like I said, he wasn't that much taller than me. Like, he was probably like 5'8". I'm 5'6", so he was not that much taller than me. But with that being said, guys tend to be stronger than girls. So I was just like, I could probably fight my way out of this, but I'm like, I honestly don't even know, and I don't want anything to happen, you know. I don't want to have to fight someone, like, you know. So I just want to encourage everyone, and speak to anyone, if you've ever been in a situation like this and nothing happened to you. God was looking out for you, and he was watching over you, and he watches over all of us. It's just that some of us do not belong to his family. Some of us aren't his children. And you know, so it's completely, it's so different living life when you're his child, and when you know that he is genuinely watching out for you no matter what. And I don't know why I sound like I'm gonna cry. I'm not gonna cry. But so if any of you are here and you are listening to this, I want you to know that God is real, and that God cares about you, and he loves you no matter if you associate yourself as a Christian, or if you associate yourself as a Catholic, or if you associate yourself as a Muslim. It doesn't matter what you associate yourself as, or what you know, group yourself in. God is love, and God loves you, and he desires to know you no matter who you are, and no matter where you are in life. And I thank God for, I have so many testimonies, and my testimony is going to be continuously put on this channel, and different my different testimonies of what God has done for me. But yeah, that is it for this video. I just wanted to put this out there because I did feel like it is something that is not talked about enough, or it's something that's overlooked or misconstrued or played down. But this is something that's so real, and this is something that happened to me. It's a true experience, a true story. And God is so good. He's just so good to me, and he's so good to my family. And God really did intervene that day, and I thank him for that, because if he didn't, like I said, who knows, you know, what could have happened. You know, if you don't believe what I'm saying, there's so many different cases, True Crime Daily, in the news, of girls that have of this has happened to them, and they've been unsuccessful in getting out of this situation, and stuff has happened to them. So I'm truly grateful to God. But yeah, that is it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you did like it, please give me a thumbs up. Make sure you comment down below, hit that subscribe button, and turn on that post notification bell so you don't miss out on any more videos that I post. But yeah, if you want to see more videos like this where I share testimonies or experiences of things that has happened to me in the past, and God has, you know, helped me through them, please definitely subscribe to my channel, so you don't miss out. I will be posting future testimony videos, and yeah, so God is so good. By his grace, you guys will see me in the next video. Bye.